Welcome back to the Stuff for Whatever podcast. Your host BQuanchi here. Have a very special podcast this week. Before I get started, I always like to say the best way to support me on the channel is to like, comment, and subscribe, which you can do on YouTube, follow on Twitch, or gaming streams, which those gaming streams do get uploaded on the YouTube channel as a VOD. So circle back. And then on Twitter so you can catch when I go live, other updates, other videos I've been working on. Kind of funny, it's been, a small channel, not really much. I repeat myself so much, just saying, this is more of a hobby than anything else. But I've been kind of working on stuff. I've been kind of lazy, but kind of motivated now. So there's some stuff I want to put out there and stuff I need to record, stuff I write. I don't know. It's kind of weird, when no one's listening, how much effort do you want to put in? But I've been fun with it, and I think it has helped me overall, just speaking. I'm not that I'm desperate need of improving my speech. I had speech therapy when I was a kid and stuff like that too. So, long story with that, but yeah, I might do stuff more often. I've been trying to get in the habit of this, if I have a funny thought or something that I can go on for a little bit, or just thought, maybe try to catch up on current news, whether it's mostly pop culture. I'm a gamer, as you can tell, with my uploads and Twitch streams and all that. So definitely kind of want to put out there. But speaking of my streams, I had some fun doing, especially the last week of October. I've been doing kind of a Halloween theme. I'm just playing games, kind of classic horror games. I did check out the first Silent Hill and some PS1 as well, Parasite Eve. And I feel like those games are kind of outdated, or it was kind of weird, if you're not familiar with it, not knowing what to do, especially with Silent Hill. But it seemed interesting. A lot of those games I don't plan on playing more on a channel, doing full playthroughs. But let me know in the comments, if you check out those VODs. I definitely want to go back to Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That was a fun one. I never beat that game, so I still have to go back to it. But I think I'm going to continue on stream, because I kind of wonder, what's the best practice when it comes to streaming. Play the game beforehand. Some games you can check out on a channel. I do have a habit of putting playlists too, but revisiting Super Mario RPG, I play the hell out of that. So playing on stream, I know what to do. Or Yoshi's Island, a lot of those platformers kind of stuff. Hey, get to the end of the level kind of stuff. But some good playthroughs. I do recommend the. I really love Savage Halloween and Halloween Forever. Those really fun retro pixel indie games, so I really love those. I did do the last part of Savage Halloween as its own upload, kind of a let's play style. I'm kind of interested to hear some feedback, because I'm probably going to discontinue or put a big hold on it, because I do have a lot of videos I just call gameplay with no commentary. This stuff I just kind of want to showcase or show off, or just have it up there. I did Beast of Burden as well, with me talking over it. So I'm wondering if I might revisit that for games that may not be a good long stream, maybe a good 30 minutes and stuff like that. I think we call it BQuanchi gameplays might be a good way to put it, because there's crank gameplays, and I don't know if it'll be any I definitely won't be any Markiplier or Jacksepticeye or whatever. But I don't know, because it feels if I'm gonna play games, might as well just stream it. But who knows? I think maybe small little ones. I'm kind of open to that, but sometimes I'm thinking of easing off on the upload schedule too, or even my stream schedule, because it's been a couple months. I've been doing 3 streams a week, but I might maybe at the end of the year might change back to 2. I don't know. It's one of the things if no one's watching and showing up to the party, it's kind of demotivating. But I'm gonna play these games anyways and just kind of seeing what sticks, because it's funny, the stream VOD of Sinister Halloween, which one of the Halloween games I was kind of disappointed with, is actually getting more views, but I just don't see the comments. So leave comments below if you care to, because that gives me feedback, and I don't know, it just kind of feels. And I said it before, I say it again. It's screaming to the void. A little life update. This is just hey, maybe this may be interesting to hear. Maybe someone hey, that's kind of helpful. But I think about getting more exercise lately. Just because it's been getting a little bit colder here in Arizona, it's finally time to put on pants. I was putting on one of my pair of jeans, and it's this is uncomfortable. I was at work and I'm secretly unbuttoning my waist, hoping no one would notice. I have my shirt tucked over, but oh my god, I feel like it was gonna like burst my bladder or something. I thought like I have another pair of jeans that also the same waist, but it's relaxed fit versus I think this is more standard. Like, oh my god. And I just weighed myself earlier, and like, okay, my weight hasn't been too bad, but because what I'm getting with this is I actually bought some workout equipment. The main one, I got an exercise bike because I have a kind of a small apartment, and I've been looking at Amazon. I got this cool like folding one. And it's pretty nice because I guess a lot of these bikes now use like magnets or something, so like you can play around with the resistance. So it's not like so cheap. Because see those cheap like under the desk. Sometimes the price is a little bit more than I would think it would be, but it's like cheap. Like it's just like little pedals that you have on your desk. So you can exercise at work, but I always find those kind of a waste. I have this nice one. It kind of folds a little bit. Although it doesn't take too much space unfolded. And just uses battery for the display for like keeping track of calories burned or distance and stuff like that. But you don't have to like plug into the wall or anything like that. So like, oh, that's kind of nice. So I think as I'm like, watching whatever on TV or on YouTube, because I do watch a lot of YouTube on my Roku app or whatever. Which I think all smart TVs pretty much have the YouTube app. But like, you know what? Might as well just do like 30 minutes on exercise bike. So because I was doing some research with it too, because I was kind of like, it's been a good while since pre-COVID. It's been a couple of years since I've actually been at a gym, and I canceled my membership a long time ago during COVID. But it kind of miss this nicer equipment because they have like little fan vents, and like that's one thing I miss. It can like program it for like certain, because one thing I really like is ellipticals. I think that's one of my more favorite. I feel like I can get a better workout with that, but like looking online, it seems like the cheaper ones don't last as long. I think there's like some you can get kind of like for apartments, a little like space saving, but it's like I want to get something that's gonna wear out. But this bike I got was pretty good. I was also thinking possibly treadmills, but I've seen concerns about like because I have carpet, even though it's like I would say maybe like the cheaper, like a basic standard carpeting, but it's like hearing concerns with like the treadmill, maybe the cheaper ones, like it grinds against the carpet and can wear it out. Although they have like pads you can buy to help with that too, like put a pad underneath the treadmill. And a lot of those like, oh, it's not like powered like by an outlet. Like the treadmill just goes by your like movement versus like your more decent ones where like you press the button, select the speed, and the treadmill runs, and then you have to run with it. So I don't like the ones I feel like you have to run. If you stop running then or stop moving, then it stops moving. I don't know if this is any interesting, but the treadmill's like this is a really nice one I was looking at, but it didn't have like any hand guards, but it like folds up. It looked like $400, but like but I'm very happy with the bike I have, so I'm gonna work on that and trying to I don't know, lose some more weight. Again, I'm not as bad as I thought it would be, just because how inactive I've been with and really bad with exercise. And I eat the junk food, drink occasional drink. I don't drink any soda that's not diet, so I think that kind of helps. And that's maybe my saving grace. Although I know they say awful things about diet soda, but I don't know. I don't want to live forever, so but I do want to look a little bit better, but not too bad. At least I want my pants to fit a little bit looser. So one thing I wanted to talk about is, I'm sure a lot of people are talking about it. Everyone's like, it's the kind of the big thing with Elon Musk and Twitter and stuff like that. But I was going to get off a different tangent. There's something weird with Twitter, at least in my experience. I know like a lot of it's like algorithms that feed you stuff and all that. But I feel like sometimes like Twitter, I'm not sure if it's because of the change of Elon buying it. But I feel like sometimes the more like criticism or critical reply tweets get kind of buried and all that. I'll give you some examples. Like during Halloween Day, there was a post by Tara Reid wearing her Halloween costume. And I'm not sure what account, it's an account I follow, but they quote tweeted it because Tara Reid is wearing this like red jumpsuit and has a bunch of playing cards going down one side, and she's like, "Oh, I'm like the Queen of Diamonds. I'm messing it up. The Queen of Hearts. I'm the Queen of Hearts," and stuff like that. And I messed it up because all the cards were diamonds, but she's saying Queen of Hearts, and I think that was the thing. Like, and that's what the quote tweet said is like every card is diamond, every card. Like, okay, that must be like so how field day like calling her out and like, oh my god, are you an idiot? Like saying the Queen of Diamonds and Queen of Hearts. I keep mixing it up, but the Queen of Hearts, and literally every card on your body is a diamond Sue. But when I checked out her Tara Reid's actual tweet, like everything was all positive. Oh, look great, blah blah blah. Like no mentions of the mistake. Like, hey, those are diamonds, not hearts. Like, why the fuck are you saying you're Queen of Hearts when it's all diamond cards and all that? And I just wanted to bring it up. There was that big Elon Musk tweet, something like is he's been doing a lot about promoting Twitter Blue, like the $8 a month, but the one about like nobles and peasants and stuff like that. It's like all the tweets were like positive. I've seen like videos like stuff I follow like on YouTube and stuff like that have been more critical, but like when I look at Elon Musk's tweets, it's like all the positive ones are more visible, and all, maybe the ones that are more negative or more like critical or criticizing it, I don't see them. So I'm not sure if that's because of the change or whatever, but it's like, I'm not sure how that's gonna play out because I'm not sure if that change is gonna mean like people who are already verified. I would think that they would keep their verification because I think that would be like piss a lot of people off. You know what's funny? Like people talk about like Netflix now, not, because that's a change. Netflix is now adding ads, and like, oh, I'm gonna cancel Netflix, but like Twitter wants you to pay, and like I feel like it's small, like just in my bubble here complains about it, but it just maybe it feels suppressed. I think that's the word I'm thinking of. It's like it feels like it's suppressed. Although I am seeing these criticisms and all that. I think my main concern is like if someone can just like buy the verification, like what's stopping someone from posing as someone else, like posing as a celebrity or Elon Musk? But I'm sure they're gonna have something in place, like well, at least for Elon Musk, like no one's gonna be like, "Hey, I'm Elon Musk, so I have a check mark," and it's like maybe they can like be Ethan Misk or something like that, Ethan Misk, or like I don't know, get away around it so they appear like Elon Musk. But it feels like buying verification is not a good idea. I don't know like too much about like social media and all that, but I know like the previous or maybe the traditional way of getting verified is a little bit annoying because like, oh, how many followers do you have on other social media accounts? Like, do you have I think that's the main thing. Like, you have to have articles written about you from news sources or some outlets. It's like, oh, you had to be like cited in articles for you to be verified. But I'm sure some like companies just buy it like in the past. Like when it comes to like movies or celebrities, or well, I think celebrities they can easily get the articles and news and stuff like that. But it feels like a new movie or a AAA game or stuff like that that gets its own Twitter account, like oh, it's instantly verified and all that. So maybe there's a lot going on there, but that's my like 2 cents. Like, but it just like feels weird. Like it kind of reminds me. I heard something. I'm not sure where. Like YouTube, I heard like sometimes channels will like positive comments so that they stay at the top. So like if you view a YouTube channel, like the channel, because you see that little icon like, oh, the channel actually liked this tweet. So I think if maybe a YouTube video is a little bit more controversial or more widely criticized negatively, they might like go through the comments and like all the positive ones. Maybe even get like bots or whatever. Because that's a funny thing. I know like the big thing with Twitter is that like Elon Musk was concerned about bots, but then people can have all these issues with Twitter Blue, with people like pretending to be something else or paying to avoid ads, or I think like ads is reduced. So I don't know the whole thing, but I'm not. Unless it like really more had a stronger Elon presence, I might consider Twitter Blue just to amp me up a little bit, but I don't see too much use for it. Seems stupid, but he got to make money. I'm wondering, like, is that just gonna like crash and burn? And then like Elon Musk like laid off a lot of workers and like the board. I don't know all the details. I'm sure other people can explain it more better than I can. But I think like he's got a lot of stuff with Twitter. I'm not even heard stuff like Twitter was hemorrhaging money too in the first place. So it's like maybe sinking ship, but it's like a foundation of social media and everyday life. So it's like kind of crazy to see like I think like Twitter's like my little bubble when it comes to like taking in news or pop culture or whatever. It's like I kind of have this a little bit separate from my personal life in a sense, but we'll just have to wait and see. So one thing I wanted to talk about a little bit more, I talked about last podcast a few weeks ago, but the whole controversy with Bayonetta 3 with the voice actor Helena Taylor. I think when I did my last podcast, it was at the point that, hey, she says she was going to be paid $4,000 to play Bayonetta, and it's starting to leak that, hey, no, she was offered a lot more. So a lot more came from that. And I'm going to try to think like how she presented itself, because it's either borderline like she was really leaving out information, like she really doctored it to paint a certain story. Like everyone, when with the first video, thought she was just getting paid for $4,000 for her role in Bayonetta 3. But yeah, I would say she flat out lied. Like I don't even want to watch like all her Twitter videos and stuff like that. It's funny that it's still pinned, but that's a little bit of like Arlo and pregame discharge recap it a little bit. But yeah, it's like, yeah, it's really unfortunate. Again, I'm not sure what her goal was, because like I would say she more like I would say you could argue that she flat out lied about it, with really bending the truth in such a way, because she said he was going to get paid $4,000, but I think there was like $4,000 a session with at least a minimum of $15,000, and then like after that they like counter offer like she can have a cameo in the game for $4,000, I think. But yeah, it's like I would say that's flat lying, and I think it's causing maybe more damage to like voice acting in the industry. Maybe a little silver lining in that it's bringing up these discussions of like voice actors and stuff like that too. Because I thought I mentioned this last podcast too, but like kind of like a metaphor I wanted to make, a comparison, more likely a comparison. It always feels weird when you compare like voice actors to like on-screen actors versus like television or movies and stuff like that, because that was so many years ago. But I remember here like last season of Friends, like the main cast was getting paid $1 million per episode. I'm not sure how many episodes that ran that season, but it's like, why are these people on screen getting paid like an insane amount compared to? But then again, it's like comparing apples to oranges. Like one of the most popular TV shows at the time, primetime TV shows, versus like a video game series that's been pretty popular. I think it's been getting more mainstream attention over the years since they put Bayonetta in Smash, since they re-released the maybe remastered, I forget what you want to call them, but like the Switch ports of the first two games and all that. So I think Bayonetta does have its good following and all that, but yeah, it's just kind of an unfortunate situation, because I think what's going to happen is like maybe companies, whether they be video games or animation, stuff like that, they're going to see that those headlines and videos like, oh, Helena was spouting like having all this training and experience, and she was only offered $4,000, and maybe they can like lowball bar other voice actors versus like inexperience and stuff like that too. And then it also brings like those discussions of like the replacement for Bayonetta, Jennifer Hale, because I think she even got harassed, because I thought like Platinum Games put out like a statement like about like not harassing her or something like that. I forget. Then people are gonna think, oh, since Jennifer Hale took the road, like did she get paid that low? Did she get paid less, or did she get paid more and steal that from her? Because I saw some recap clips of Helena's video, and like she's did not deserve to voice Benya. Like it's her character, even though she rejected the offer. So it's like and this is like things about like NDA and stuff like that too, which can get a little ugly. Like her speaking out about how much she was offered, especially when she grossly she lied. I'm twisting my words, but yeah, I say she lied. And it's like even fun, like even seeing some news. Like I've been, I think like in reply tweets, I think articles talking about it, not like directly with Helena's Twitter feed, but saying like, hey, she follows some accounts that are anti-trans or anti-trans rights, and she even put a post. It feels like she keeps on digging her hole even more, but she keeps on. She was talking about like instead of buying a game, donate to these charities. She listed a bunch of charities. Like, oh, one of those charities is an anti-abortion group. So like, nope. Not to say like fuck you, bitch, but fuck you, bitch. Like, I am curious to play the games. I've been sleeping on the series for a while, so I think I'm checking it out. But I think this is even motivating me more to jump on board the series, especially with the newest installment. So I almost think it has like a reverse effect in what she was hoping for. But yeah, just kind of a messy situation. But I had an additional 2 cents, so I think 4 cents altogether compared to my last podcast. So now I want to talk about something. Let me just I don't want to say like personal, but just kind of like weird like grooming habits. But I'm talking about with the sense of hair and all that, not the other kind of grooming. But I recently got a new hair trimmer. It's more like a beard trimmer, but it also has like all this attachment. Like, oh, this is for your beard with the guard, and this is for like the precision trimmer, and this is for the nose and ears and all that. And even have like a weird. Like I had to look at it because I think like other trimmers have that as well as like kind of like a longer one, but it's like for body hair. And not that I like because I'm kind of I'm Irish Italian, so I have like some. I don't say some. I have like body hair and stuff like that, like chest hair. Like I never shave my chest and never will. But I was like kind of curious, like I use the attachment like the body hair trimmer that comes with those like 5-in-1 like different heads, and like I kind of want to use it on my armpit because I definitely don't want to shave my like armpits all the way down like with like shaving cream and stuff like that and make them buttery smooth. But it's like I'll just try that because it's actually kind of nice. I don't know if many guys even talk about shaving armpits, but more like trimming. Like it's definitely not shaved down. Like you can still feel hair after that because I always feel awkward sometimes, like when I wear like sleeveless shirts or tanks and stuff like that, and even my arms are at the side, like the armpit hair is kind of like sticking out, all that. It's like, that's kind of nice. Like maybe it helps with like deodorant and stuff like that too, because I remember for years and years ago, I used to have issues with like my armpit and deodorant. Like I realized, I was just wearing deodorant, not a deodorant and antiperspirant. I think that made a huge difference. I think when it's like having so much armpit hair, that affects it. But like, that's kind of nice. I might like do this like once every 6 months or once in a while because it's not something I plan to do on a regular basis. Because I do like being a hairy guy, but it's like people even talk about like shaving their armpits, and that even like some other personal areas like excuse me. In a crotch, pubic hair, the fun stuff. But I'm gonna have it of trimming that too. Like sometimes I'll, as scary as it sounds, like use scissors to kind of trim some up. But like, use little clippers and all that. And if I was bigger on YouTube, this would be a great segue to like a Manscaped ad. But nope, not sponsored or anything like that. But yeah, I do like trimming the down there. It helps. Also, one thing that I think is helpful for someone, who trims, like especially if it's been a little lengthy, out of control, use something to trim it down, whether the scissors if comfortable, or use a clippers with like a guard. Like you have one of those like precision trim, or like personal groomers, like Manscaped. Again, not sponsored by Manscaped, but they've had one of this trimmer. Don't go like willy nilly with that first on with like fully bush Amazon hair down there. Like you need to trim it down. You don't want to like use it from fully grown out hair. So that definitely helps to kind of trim it down. But like, I do that once in a while. Like it's something I probably won't, maybe not even do monthly. It feels weird kind of like talking about my habits like that. But yeah, I think maybe it's like maybe helpful tidbit and all that. Because even kind of funny because I'm a hairy guy, and I don't hide this, but I do am a gamer, SGAY, male for male. But sometimes on those profile sites, like they talk about like, oh, don't trim your pubic hair, don't trim that, and like keep it hairy. Like, no, I really want to because it's like, I don't want to say like it's uncomfortable, but it's kind of like I don't know. I don't like. I like hair, but there's always like too much, and it's not like that. I just remember that scene from Scary Movie, that first Scary Movie. I think like when they're like having a sex scene, and then like she pulls in her pants, and like it's like all this hair pops up, and he gets like I don't say like a chainsaw, but like a hedge trimmer and stuff like that, like an electronic one, and like shave it down. Like they can be too much bush. It can be too, whether it be your armpits or down there. But I'm just saying, like, it's not too bad to trim it. So again, I don't know who cares. I think I'm just some weirder with a microphone talking out loud, but yeah, maybe someone would find that useful. So the last thing I want to talk about on this podcast is QR codes, and kind of a weird subject, but it's like this little rant that I just want to get off my chest. I'm not sure if other agrees, but like, who really cares about QR codes? Because I remember like when smartphones were a thing, like, oh, that's so cool. You can aim your phone's camera at the little square with all this like almost like a barcode, but it's like all square and blocky. Like, oh, that's so cool and stuff like that. But it feels like it's kind of like useless. It depends, because actually I have some examples of when it is useful, but I feel like, oh, that's so cool. But then like you can just like Google shit and get there. Like even funny, like sometimes I'll see it on like YouTube videos, like in the sponsored bits and stuff like that. And like a lot of people watch YouTube videos on their phone, so they can't really like scan a QR code with a phone if the viewing the video on the phone. But again, for me, I mostly watch YouTube on my laptop or my TV, depending. So, but that's the last thing I want to do, like pull up my phone and then like aim my camera at the screen just to get a QR code where I can just like Google it or look at it later. And also with that, I have an Android, so I'm not sure if this differs with iPhone, but like all the Android phones I have don't have a QR code reader. Like you have to like download an app. Like the regular camera doesn't have it. I remember, like, I think a practical example of QR codes is I got my flu shot the last week or so, and like, scan this code, and it takes you to like a direct link, so you can like fill out a survey and stuff like that. Like, have you had any reactions? Are you allergic to this or that, and stuff like that. Like, it's typical like medical stuff. So I think when it comes to like a medical thing, like it's useful to like, okay, you got to fill this out, and then you can easily get the information, so you don't have to like fill out forms, handwrite them. And sometimes you even see that like at fast food, like I can remember I went to the drive-thru with McDonald's the other day. I got to end McDonald's ran at the end of it. I got to remember McDonald's, but like even going to McDonald's is that like, oh, you want to join our team? Scan this QR code. So I think having a code that would take you directly to like, oh, you can apply right here. So I think there's a lot of convenience and all that. But for the most part, I just feel like I just want to scan it. And what I think they should do with like either Android or iPhones or both is that your default camera app should have like a button for QR codes or have a mode. So like, oh, I need to scan a QR code. So you can use your default camera app versus like downloading a separate one. Because when I was doing my flu shot, like, oh, I'm going to scan it. And then instead of like, I thought like, oh, I'm going to click on this to go to site. But this QR app has ad supported. It's like, oops, I actually clicked the ad. And like, oh. So it gets a little annoying. But I did want to rant a little bit because also at work is, I feel like it was like a year or so ago, but there's like, okay, everyone wants you to fill out this survey and stuff like that. And it's like the little postings around like, okay, scan the QR code, it'll take you to the little survey and stuff like that. And then like hearing like someone like is help people like encourage, because I think it was like a safety thing, and like some old lady on a safety team was like telling people, coworkers to like, you can go use your phone to scan the QR code, but she kept on like, use your camera, and then like coworkers like Zoomers or younger generations than me, like being clueless too, like, oh, you just aim your camera at it and like nothing's happening. And I would just want to like step in like, no, you dumb idiots, like fucking get a QR reader. You don't use your camera, use a QR reader. They're not doing shit. And then like everyone's fucking clueless. So it's like boomer and Zoomer, and everyone's fucking minds are breaking because of a QR code. But most probably, like, who cares about QR codes? Because it's just like, just fucking Google it. Like, you can pull up a website. Like if it's, I seen like ads for like prescription drugs and stuff like that, or sponsored bit on YouTube video. Like, just click the link in the description or just like Google it. You'll get to the website. Again, there's some convenience with it, But I think people really stress like, hey, use a reader on your phone. If you don't have it, download a version of it. Even that, like, either it should be built in with the default camera app, or it should be like a default app on its own. Like when you get a smartphone, like has all those like apps that you're stuck with, like the internet ones, like the internet browser you're not going to use because you're going to use Chrome or Safari if you're Apple or whatever. But they need to make it clear, like, hey, you need a QR reader, not just point your fucking camera like you're taking a selfie or whatever, or taking a picture of your food. But yeah, just kind of like a little rant about QR codes. Last thing I want to talk about is very last thing, because I remember with McDonald's, because I had this happen twice to me, like at two different McDonald's. Is I don't eat McDonald's too much, but I do really like their breakfast. But like one time I was getting breakfast and I give an order and stuff like that, and the fact that like, some reason they didn't have the hash browns, but they also had a frappe coffee, and like I didn't order the frappe coffee, like the little frappuccino thing, so. But again, they just gave that to me with the. Well, I just said I was supposed to have two hash browns, so they just gave me the hash browns, so it's kind of like getting it for free. And then the second time, I like ordered the McGriddles, but they like had McMuffins instead. But that time I actually spoke to a lady, because it's really weird with McDonald's, so they have like two. At least at McDonald's I go to, they have like two different speakers for the drive-thru, which I think they shouldn't have because it's kind of waste. I'm not sure if that causes more mix-ups, because that could have been a thing too. Like maybe I had someone else's order and all that. But like the person that taking order from the speaker wasn't the same person I gave my money to. And one thing about McDonald's is that they have that nice screen like, hey, I'm ordering this, and it pops up on the screen when they put it in. Like, oh, you got the combo. Oh, you got a extra side of fries or whatever. But those two times they did not put my order on the screen, and like, oh, just be at the window, and like. And then both times they messed up, because in the past, like, I got McDonald's before, is that like I'll see it on the screen, like, okay, that sounds good. The difference I noticed, like the two times that I messed up, it was like some guy employee, whereas in the past when the female employees would do it, like it would be just spot on and be just fine. It's weird, like I never saw the guy, like when I go through a window to pay, it's a completely different employee, like both times a female. So I'm sure it's like some lazy like Zoomer male. I shouldn't keep saying that, like because I hate when people say like millennial this and millennial that, but it's like it's a male coworker and like messed up order twice. I'm not sure if it's just like McDonald's thing, but or like the fact that they have like two ordering speakers in the drive-thru. Like I guess that kind of helps if they're really backed up and keep things going. But I just had some issues with my McDonald's order being messed up. But oh well. And I guess that'll do it for this podcast. So thanks for listening. Again, the best way to support me and the channel is to like, comment, and subscribe. I have some stuff working on. Hopefully I'm not too lazy to get it out there, but we'll keep on streaming. I do have a very special stream I want to do this Saturday. This is coming out Friday, so I'm not sure, again, who's listening, but I have a special game I want to revisit real quick, and kind of excited about it. Like I've been putting the thumbnail together and I'm like, oh, this seems kind of neat, because I do, kind of plan out like, okay, this is going to go on a YouTube channel as a VOD, so might as well get the thumbnail thrown together. But I have some stuff in the works, and I definitely need to revisit, finish up Sonic Adventure 2 and Pokemon Trading Card Game. So, other stuff, so we'll see. But that will do it, and thanks for listening, all that, support, all that, and y'all have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye.